want to be? That is quite literally a highlight reel of good moments that an editor put together. But I want to give also my full background. I'm an accident kid. Anybody else? Yeah, just me and you? What's good? Everyone else was wanted, huh? Must be nice. What's that like? Here's how I know that I'm an accident kid. My older brother's 9 years older than me. My older sister is 6 years older than me. My parents named my older sister Alexis. Had 6 years. And then they named me Alex. Pretty sure they phoned that one in. But what this is about, guys, what we're going to talk about is who do you want to be? And to give yourself the freedom right now, in this moment together, to just take a step back from all of the intensity of life and realize that you truly can do and be whoever you want to be. Not in some hallmark cliche way of you can do anything, but you can actually do anything, or also absolutely nothing. And that's totally cool. And that's absolutely cool. And it's really important that we acknowledge that truth, that you don't have to do a damn thing. You don't have to do a damn thing. And what's so cool about that is once we acknowledge that you want to get straight A's, you want to win a championship, you want to go off to an amazing college, or you want to do nothing, move to Thailand, backpack, explore, you can do anything. And what's amazing about that is then you get to decide, all right, well, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? And that reframe, that idea of who do you want to be, changes everything. So the first thing that I ever wanted to do, the first thing in my life that I ever wanted to be was a Division I lacrosse player and a high school All-American. And I know that because I would recite it to myself like a sicko. Now, my background, I was an accident kid. I looked up to my older brother, and I did everything that he did. So my older brother, Zach, there he is, 9 years older than me. He had long red hair. He put it into dreadlocks. I don't know. It's a bold look, but good for you, man. And he went off. They were still, well, it's a bold look, and you work it. That's the first time that's connected. All right, so I love Zach, and I looked up to Zach, and so anything that he did, I did. So I just did lacrosse because that's my older brother. I'll just do it, And then my older siblings, when I was in 6th grade, went off to college. And something happened to me when my siblings weren't around anymore. I got weird. I just got very awkward. I got very uncomfortable. I struggled with confidence a lot. And so middle school, I hated those years. I would get bullied. I'll never forget it. I would get bullied by this kid, Joey Lattarulo. He would come up to me in the halls. He wouldn't punch me. He would come up to me and he would squeeze and tweet. It hurt, but it also, you don't look like the man walking around shielding your nips from Joey. So I hated those years. And then I would come home, and I love my dad. I love him. And he's an intense guy. I would never call my dad a dick, so let's just call him, a dick. I'm sorry, this is probably not the place, but I say that because I have no doubt that someone in this room is dealing with a tough parent. And maybe it's not a parent, maybe it's someone else in your life, but I have no doubt that someone who impacts your well-being is difficult in your life, and I want to say I hear you, and I've dealt with that. But at that time in my life, I felt like I was getting bullied at school, and then I would come home and I would walk on eggshells because I didn't want my dad to be upset. So I really hated those years. And then it was 8th grade. I was playing lacrosse, and the high school lacrosse coach came down. I was just playing lacrosse. It was just a thing that I did. And he pulled me aside after practice. Literally pulled me aside. He's like, hey, come here for a second. He goes, I think you could be really good at this. If you commit to this, you give it a lot of this, I think this could be really cool in your life. That was it. Literally 9 seconds, a 9-second conversation, and I was like, I'm all in. He gave me an opportunity, pulled me up on the high school team. I didn't do that great that year, but he gave me an opportunity, and so I was obsessed with it. And it was the first thing in my life that I really wanted to give myself to. And here is what I want to offer that I believe is the truth of life. And that's a pretty big claim. This is not the truth of life, but this is what I believe the meaning of life to be. Is to find something that you believe in and to give it everything you have. That is what I believe is the meaning of life. So the first thing that I found, and I didn't even find it, an incredible coach gave me the opportunity. He found me. He said, hey, here's something to believe in. So my first thing to you is, can you be open to it? Can you be open to you finding something that you believe in? Now, what's really cool is you're all wearing something on your chest right now that a lot of the finding, a lot of that hard work of, oh my gosh, what should I do? What should I find? Nothing makes sense, nothing. A lot of that's been done. So now you're kind of in something where now all you got to do is the second part. But we'll get to that. So find something you believe in. So that's all I cared about was, and I became obsessed. I would literally, every coin in a wishing well, I would just sit there and wish. I'd be like, I'm a high school American Division I lacrosse player. I'm a high school American. I'm a Division I lacrosse player. I would wish it on every birthday candle, even if it wasn't my birthday. I would just steal the cake from grandma. I need this, Nana. But it was everything to me, and I was obsessed to do it. And I did it. I was a high school American, and I played Division I lacrosse for UPenn. And my freshman year, I came in, and I was like, tunnel vision. I am doing this. I had no width in my life. I was not open to anything except just doing this. But that wasn't a great thing. And my freshman year, I started every game. But my sophomore year, I'd worked on the fitness side, I'd worked on the lacrosse skill, but I never really worked on my mind and my emotions. And after starting every game my freshman year, I was bigger, faster, stronger, more experienced, more talented my sophomore year. And I got benched every single game because I was a mess. I was a mess. I couldn't handle it. And we're going to talk about that because how we handle our minds and how we handle our emotions is just as important to how we handle the physical aspect, how we handle the skill aspect. So why I say that is because I know what it's like from both sides. Wherever you're at in your lacrosse journey, wherever you're at in your human journey, because you're a human being who is deciding to play lacrosse. You can be a human being who decides to be a history major. You could be a human being who makes it big on Dogecoin. You could be a human being who's a DJ. You can be a human being who does anything. Right now, you're a human being who decides to give the best of themselves to lacrosse. Maybe. But I know what it's like from both sides. I know what it's like to be a bullied kid without confidence, without purpose, hating those years. And then I know what it's like to find something and have that gift in your life. And how many beautiful gifts it gives to you if you simply make this one choice. I also know what it's like to start and be the man. And I also know what it's like to get benched and have to really dig deep to cheer on your buddies while you're not playing well, but you don't want to be that guy you want to be happy for your teammates, but it still is ripping you up inside. And after one game, this happened. After one game, it was beating me up so much inside that I ran off to the bathroom because I was crying, and I literally had to pretend to use the bathroom because I didn't want my teammates to hear me sobbing because I was heartbroken. This was my dream. I had it, and I lost it, and it was ripping me up. So I'm going to share about that too, and how you can handle those moments so that instead of crying in a bathroom stall, you're celebrating with your friends. All right, so this is what I believe the meaning of life to be. Find something that you believe in and give everything to have to it. All right, well that's a lot of give, right? I got to find something, I got to believe in it, then I got to give. What do I got to give? Like a day or two? No, I got to give everything I have to it. Pretty big ask. All right, so what do you get back? If you do give your best, the best will come back to you. If you give your best, I swear to you from the depths of my soul, the best will come back to you. That does not mean you will guarantee you get the A+. That does not mean you guarantee they get the championship or your dream school. I will never guarantee that because that's life. Life's unpromised. But you'll get the best. So what's the best? I think that the best comes back to you. The gifts of life, this beautiful, wonderful life that we get to live, I think the best comes back to you. In people, friends. I guarantee you, I don't know you, but I guarantee you, you've got one best friend on this team. And you got new friends that you haven't even met yet that are in this room, but you're going to foster a bond that comes out of nowhere because of this. Friends. You're going to have experiences. You're going to have experiences that you never would have had and make memories that will fill your heart for the rest of your life. You're going to grow. Your character, you're going to have lessons, your growth. You're going to become a better version of yourself through giving the best of yourself to this. And you're going to have opportunities. My dad is not a very poetic man, but one day he was like, things lead to things. I was like, Dad, that might be the truest thing I've ever heard. By you giving the best of yourself to this, you're going to unlock, think of it like a video game, you're going to unlock new levels that you didn't even know were possible or could have existed. But you earned them, you got them simply by showing up and giving the best of yourself. All right, so right now, I'm going to share a little story, man, but I want to give you guys a chance to just let your mind go wherever it goes. And allow yourself to just say to someone next to you, we're going to partner up here. If you know the person well, awesome. If you don't, even better. Who do you want to be? I'm not going to say more than that. Who do you want to be? And let your mind go wherever it goes. Maybe it's a lacrosse champion. Maybe it's a father. Maybe it's, I really want to start a business. Or maybe it's, you know what? I want to feel a little bit better about myself. I haven't been happy right now. Maybe you want to have a better relationship with your mom or a family member. There's no right or wrong, but whatever your mind is going to right now, I promise you that's the right answer. Your mind knows, your body knows. Who do you want to be? And just give yourself the freedom right now to share that with someone next to you. All right, we're going to do that for 2 minutes here.
Since you were Lacrosse? Yeah. Nice. That's awesome. How about you? I said stay at home dad. I love it. Yeah. That's cool. How many kids? I want like at least one. And after that, I don't care. It can be I very much hear that. Just Lacrosse. Love it. Does it matter where or you just want to?
Ideally, ACC or Ivy League. Realistically,
Great answers. What's up, man? What would you say? I love that. Love that. What's your subject or subject now?
Now I guess that might just happen. Dude, she went to my
All right, let's come on back. I love that. I just eavesdropped with 4 guys. Very different answers, all amazing. Anyone want to say what theirs was, or just kind of say what their partner's was? How about you, man?
My partner said be a leader.
I love that. Did they not?
No, he said I want to be the man.
Oh, you want to be me? Yeah, it's great. I love that. I love that. Who else? How about right here?
my partner wants to be closer to his family.
It's a beautiful answer. Beautiful answer. I heard scholar, I heard rescue swimmer, I heard D1 lacrosse, and I heard stay-at-home dad. I love it. I love it. All right. I'm going to share about something else that I wanted to be, and this is one that I didn't know. But I also want to, because here's the thing, we're syncing up at this part in your journey, and I hope we'll stay in touch, and I hope to hear from you. Again, I truly do. But some of these things, there's seeds that may come into play later on, and that's totally cool as well. So went off, played D1, and that was it. That was everything to me, everything. So sophomore year, I got benched every game. Junior year, I came back and led the team in goals, but I didn't solve any of my head or my heart. I was just like, let me outwork it. And that can work a little bit, but that's not how you get real long-term success. So we'll talk about that too. But then my major, I didn't really think about having a major. I was just like, what are the seniors doing? I'll just do that. So they were majoring in business, which is a great major. It's not like any of them were being irresponsible, But why I say that is because I didn't decide for myself. I just went with the river current. The river current is one of the most dangerous things that we can ever do in life, because the river current is busyness. The river current is what we think we should do. The river current is our phones just don't stop buzzing, and we got to get homework in, and we got plans on Friday. We get so dang busy with everything that's going on that we stop to pick up our heads and be like, is this even the right river for me? Am I even going where I want to be going? So it's senior year. I'm at Penn, Ivy League. I'm majoring in finance. We're known for finance. Every cool senior that I've looked up to, everyone is working on Wall Street. This is the river. And it's a great river. But I was like, I don't really know if this is right for me, but it's what I should be doing. So I was like, Alex, that voice is stupid. You should be doing this because everyone's doing it. So ignore that voice in your heart. So I kept doing it. And then senior year, me and 3 friends decided to make a campfire in Philly. There was no woods. We had a dirt patch of a backyard. We stacked old magazines, just like doused it in lighter fluid. We're like, this is great. That was our campfire. But we just sat around and we just talked about life. We talked about, who do you want to be? What do you want for your life? Not what we should do, but who do you want? What do you want for your life? And it was one of the first times I ever asked myself that question. And I wrote down these answers. And I was reading them, and I was like, gosh, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. I want to be a performer. I want to help people. I want to do comedy. I want to do positivity. I'm about to go to finance. Like, Alex, rip up this paper and throw it away. This is not for you. Your river current is right here. You've given all this time to it. But I was like, gosh, I really think I want to do this. This is my grandpa's wallet. It's beat to crud, as you can see, but it was the wallet that he used, and now I use it because it reminds me of him. When my granddad was 17 years old, he lied and said that he was 18 so that he could go fight in the war. And he did that because his older brother was fighting in the war and he wanted to be with his brother. Anybody 17 here? Cool. I imagine you all around that age. Times change, people don't. Times change, people don't. You're the same 17-year-olds that went off and fought in wars. You're the same 17-year-olds that are freaking Spartans. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. You are an animal. You are a creature, and don't let the things that are happening out in the world, we wear nice button-downs, and we got social media profiles. You're a creature. And I say that because there's going to be certain times in our lives where we need to check in with that simple truth that you're a living creature on a planet, and what do you want to do? And this is one of those moments where I felt like I should go into finance, I should do this, but I know that I really, with my heartbeats, with your heartbeats, which is the only measurement of life, is your heartbeats. What do you want to give your heartbeats to? I started thinking, I'm looking at my grandpa's wallet, and I'm thinking about this. I'm like, do I want to give my heartbeats to this? No. I want to give my heartbeats to this, to what I really have in my heart. And this is my last piece that I want to tell you this. In doing that, in being honest with your heart and what you really want to do with your moments on earth, not a friend's moment, not a parent's moment, not a teacher's moment, these are your moments on earth, yours. By honoring that, the best parts of you are going to show up. You're going to be more energized. You're going to be more focused. You're going to want to give more effort. You're going to be more passionate. You're going to do whatever it takes to make it happen because you actually give a dang about it. So I want you to know that listening to your heart and doing that is not reckless. It's actually the smarter move. So in doing that, I stopped going to finance, and I was like, all my friends were like, this is crazy. You're crazy. And not even that, to be honest with you, when I started going to theater, a lot of my good friends weren't that encouraging and actually made fun of me pretty darn good for doing it. And there's a little micro lesson here that I'll just go off on this tangent because it's important. They didn't get it. They didn't approve of what I wanted to do. And so I apologized for it. I apologized for going to theater. I snuck off to go to theater. But the moment that I was like, you know what? I love this. I'm good at this. If you don't like it, don't be in my life. But I'm awesome at this, and this brings me happiness. The moment that I started owning it, guess what happened? They were encouraging. They wanted to come to shows I was doing. Even the guy who made fun of me the most with tattoos and huge muscles and made fun of me, he knocked on my door one day. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm rehearsing for a play." He's like, "Can I rehearse with you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, man." So now he's doing Shakespeare with me, and he did the women's role. He's just jacked up. He's like, "Romeo, oh Romeo," My point is this: if you're about it, be about it. Don't apologize to anyone. If it fires you up, if it's in your heart and it makes you happy and what you want to do it. The best parts are going to show up. You don't know anybody anything. All right? So I left finance, moved out to LA, scared, but I was hyped up. I was excited. This is what I want to do. Fast forward a few years. Well, if I were talking to anybody else, I would say fast forward a few years. But that fast forward period, I'm going to give 1 minute on that because I moved out to LA and I was doing acting and I was doing stand-up comedy. I love stand-up, so that's what I was doing. And my side job was going to be coaching high school lacrosse. So I was an assistant coach at Malibu, and then I was an assistant coach at Harvard Westlake. And it was just going to be something that I did. But I was like, dang, I really love this. I really love this. So I was an assistant coach for 3 years. And then I was like, all right, I think this chapter's done for me. I did it. It's time to move on. The head coach didn't really, he kind of had his thing. It was his team. And I felt like my footing, I just felt like it was time to move on. But then right before the season, the head coach left. He got a real estate job. He was out of lacrosse. He left right before the season. And so they said, Alex, you can be interim head coach. You can coach. I was 25. They're like, you can coach for this season, but then we're going to go find someone more experienced, more mature, someone who doesn't go on stage later that night and tell dick jokes. Sorry, but that was the truth. They didn't love that. And I was like, all right, I've loved this sport. I've loved it. A coach changed my life. Let me do this. Let me give this everything I have. Let me find something I believe in. Let me believe in this, and let me give it everything I have. Good things happen when we go all in, right? So let me do it. Let me do it for one season. And that year, when I took over Harvard Westlake, they never won a playoff game in school history, and that year we won the LA championship. And it was, to this day, one of the best experiences of my life. I will find myself walking around still getting hyped up about some of those games. So these moments that you're in right now, we're going to talk about it in a moment. It's just such a special opportunity that you have right now. All right, so when I moved out to LA, coached high school lacrosse, and then it was time to, I coached. We won the LA championship. I coached for 2 more years. It was an incredible chapter of my life. Seriously, one of the most special experiences of my life. We had a rivalry with St. Margaret's. We never played you guys, but Loyola, all these teams, I get it. I'm like looking at your guys. I was telling Johnny, I was like looking at your guys' schedule. I'm like, all right, cool. This is great. I believe it. I'm Team Mater Dei now. But after coaching, I got hired to host for NBC, for American Ninja Warrior. Has anybody seen that competition show? It's awesome. It's bonkers. And this is where I want to also say, things happen and opportunities happen that you can never guess. But just giving the best to yourself. So I got hired to host this competition series for NBC, American Ninja Warrior. It's this ridiculously difficult aerial obstacle course series. And at this time in my life, I'd also stopped being an athlete. I was a host, and I loved it. But I was hired by NBC to be this goofy athletic guy who would not only host and give behind-the-scenes looks and interview top athletes, but then they thought it'd be funny if they were like, oh, you've played sports. It's Hollywood. They had no idea about lacrosse or anything. They're like, you've played sports. Like, what if you tried the crazy obstacles? And I was like, all right, sure. And the goal was that I'd probably comedically fail on the obstacles. And I failed.
I spent so much time in the water.
You don't want to be in the water. I failed for 2 years. I hosted that show, and I loved it. It was part of my job. But here's something interesting that happened is after the season one, I was supposed to fail, and I crushed it. And the producers at NBC after season one came up to me and they're like, Alex, you're nailing it with failing. And I was like, come on, guys, what? Just doing what I can. And they're like, what about for season two, though, if you were good at this sport? I was like, all right, that's a hot take. I was like, Olympic gymnasts are struggling at this. They're like, yeah. I'm like, cool. How much time do I have to get ready? They go, 2 weeks. I'm like, perfect. That's almost too much time. Here's the thing. I never climbed something in my life. I love lacrosse. It's feet on the ground. I played hockey, feet on the ground. Like I never thought of myself. I had a crazy friend, Steve, who would climb trees and drove a Wrangler. I wasn't Steve. Like I feet on the ground. But I was like, you know what, Alex, give it everything you have. And I failed all that season too. But what would happen is that I would laugh and I'd joke with people on set, but I would go home at night and I'd be sick to my stomach because I'm an athlete. We're athletes. Something that I believed in with this sport. And what's the choice? Okay, if you find something you believe in, give it everything you have. So I did. And in 2019, competed on American Ninja Warrior. All right. People don't see it until they see it. What I mean by that is, let's talk about lacrosse right now. Let's say you want to change up something. You want to change positions. Or I'm tossing this out. You play D mid, but you want to play offense. Or you're an inside guy. Yeah, I see. All right. That's real. Or you're an inside guy, but you feel like maybe you could play outside or midi. Or maybe I was all left. Like comically all left. Still am. And not like the new cool like Lyle Thompson where I was just straight up just divide the field in half and I only was there. And I think back and I'm like, gosh, Webbs, like maybe get it right. Like things might have improved. Like you might have had a lot of opportunity if you would have gotten it right. My point is with this is that people don't see it until they see it. Meaning, if there is something that you want to do in life, if there's something that you want to do in lacrosse, or you think you want to go into music, or you want to have this career, or you want to be this person, it's amazing. It's amazing if other people see that in you right now and encourage you. Awesome. What a gift. But even if no one encourages you to do it, or worse, if people tell you can't do it, you still can. But it takes you believing in yourself and taking that first step. So now I want you to ask yourself, and you're going to share this with someone else, what is something that you're not doing right now? But if you did start doing it, it might really up your life. Maybe this isn't lacrosse, and it's like, you know what, I am playing D-mid, but I feel like if I got a good time and room shot, maybe I could net one on a fast break, and then maybe that could lead to me playing more offense. Awesome. Maybe it's that you know that there's one class that, all right, I'm not good at it, but if I actually just crank it up, or I do a summer class, man, it might just open the doors for me in life. What is something that you're not doing, but if you did do it, it might bump the volume in your life? Think about it for a second. If this was easy, you'd be doing it, right? No one else needs to see this. No one else needs to approve of it. You don't need anyone's approval on this. But just think, and you're going to share that with someone next to you. What is something that if you did it, it would increase your life? All right, share that with someone next to you.
How do you work on my reading skills on better, like all the time, but it's all like, I don't know, I think it's I just skim through this way. Last summer, you would use it. God not if they were Asian, man. You'd probably like Mandarin or something.
We might have to. I might have to do this.
Who's your Dom? So. All right, let's come on back. All right, who wants to share theirs? I'll be the call-on guy. What was yours?
My partner said, do more in the weight room.
Love it. What was yours?
Huh?
What was yours?
I said, to switch positions to midi.
Awesome.
Play better there.
Yo, that, right, doesn't matter. Use it. People don't see it until they see it. People don't see it until they see it. And here's why I bring this up. You're going to finish this year, and this year is going to be what it'll be. And we'll go into all that, how you finish, how you make the most, all that. You got June, July, and August. What couldn't you do in 90 days? What couldn't you do in 90 days? I'll say that you can do anything. If you actually want to do it, whatever that is in your life, if you get specific on actually what it'll be, so I don't mean to keep, but if you said be a midi, if you distill that down, okay, what do I need to work on to be a midi? Is it dodge down the alleys, it get quicker, does it get bigger? You distill that down to, okay, what do I actually need to do? 90 days, you will be a different human being. Whatever it is that you want to do, I promise you, you can do it in 90 days. I was even driving down here and I was like, all right, well, what would be like a crazy thing? Brain surgeon? Could you be a brain surgeon in 90 days? All right, I guess you wouldn't be able to operate, but like, 90 days? You could learn brain surgery in 90 days. Maybe no one's going to come in and be under the knife for you, but 90 days? I think you could get pretty dang far. There's a YouTube video. Come on. You find a good friend, you practice on the cat, 90 days. People don't see it until they see it, and they don't need to see it until you smack them in the head, and people go, it takes one practice. And by the end of it, they go, damn, guess what? Now you're a midi. Seriously, you got 90 days, and I promise you, you can change your life in that amount of time. And why that's so important is because there's so much gray time in life. You're busy, and I'm not saying don't have a life. I'm saying enjoy the heck out of your life. See friends, watch a movie, have a good dinner, all the good stuff in life. But what ends up happening is these gray times. There's these gray times that we give away. And we give them away because we don't really know what to do with it. And so it goes to a scroll hole or a Netflix or to someone else's priorities. We do stuff for other people that we don't really need to do, but we don't really know what to do with this gray time, so we're just like, sure, it goes in the wash, gets washed away. But if you know, dang, something that's going to change my life, I'm taking 45 of those gray minutes. You can take the rest, but 45 of these minutes are changing my life. 90 days, you take some of those minutes of those heartbeats for yourself, and I promise you'll change your life. Okay, how? How do we do it? This is what I've learned with American Ninja Warrior. It's called one of the most difficult physical competitions on earth. I can attest to that. That's also why I love it. Is because part of why I get so fired up and why I'm committed to it and why I drive an hour to train late in the night in these crazy medieval contraptions and rip my hands and all this is because I want to prove to myself that if I can do this, I can do anything in the world. And I do believe that. One other thing is that after playing college lacrosse, I was called a former athlete. And that crushed my soul. I was an athlete my entire life. You're athletes. It's who we are. And then I played D1, and all of a sudden it was like, hard stop. I'm not an athlete. And I started to believe it. And because I believed what other people thought about me, I got out of shape. I started just acting not like myself. I saw a photo, and I was like, that's not me. And they're like, no, bro, you're fat. I was like, nah. Damn. But then, because of American Ninja Warrior, because of this challenge, because of giving the best of myself, American Ninja Warrior, but also it led me to play lacrosse internationally and compete in the world championships of lacrosse with Argentina. Again, things lead to things, something I never could have guessed. Here's the how, okay? This is not glamorous, what I'm about to share with you, but it's because it's not glamorous, everyone overlooks it, but this is how you get better. Anytime we hit a setback or adversity or a fail moment, there's three things that happen, okay? One is an emotional reaction. You feel something, as you should. You're a human being. You screwed up a test, you botched a date, you missed a goal, you lose a game, you're going to feel something. Now, because we're athletes, we've been trained and we're good to make the next play, and we can kind of calibrate that. And that's good. You already have a massive lead on most people. But I also want to make sure, and then we're going to come back to this, there's fuel in that. So if you screwed up, if you botched a date, whatever, you're pissed off, use it. Use it. That's fuel. That's energy. All right? The second thing, after the emotional reaction, is a takeaway. Most people will have the determination to keep at something, but they keep at it the same exact way. And that's usually because their emotions get the best of them. You get frustrated. Let's say you want to pick up piano or guitar. Great. You pick up guitar, it's kind of frustrating and it sucks. And so our enthusiasm to keep doing it dies down, or our frustration dies down and doesn't allow us to actually improve. If you can handle your emotions and you can learn something every single time, and I'm serious, you have a date that doesn't go well, or someone breaks up with you and you're heartbroken, or you get in a fight with a friend, or you miss a play and you get benched. Handle your emotions and just think, all right, what can I do better? What can I do better? If you can find more than one, awesome, but just find one. Just find one thing that you can do better. And I'm serious. Take this out of a textbook and put this into real life. On a date, with your friends, with lacrosse, with anything. Find one little thing that you can do better. And then the third piece that most people won't do is to fully commit again. Say you went and you offhand on the run and you kind of screwed up that shot. It didn't go great. Most people will, one, have an emotional reaction, and because of the strong emotional reaction, they won't figure out what they could have done better, which is, okay, maybe I didn't twist my hips or I opened my shoulders too early. They won't, because their emotions are just like embarrassed or frustration. So they won't actually have the poise to figure out what they could have done better. And then this is what separates the people who do stuff from people who don't. Is the next time you have that opportunity, you do it with full belief and full commitment, and you use that little bit. You don't back away and give it a half-hearted attempt because the last one didn't go well. And you don't do the exact same thing and open up your shoulder again, but you fully commit with full belief and full effort using that knowledge that you now have. That's not glamorous, but if you do that, rinse and freaking repeat. You will get better. And fast forward a day, fast forward a week, fast forward 90 days, you will do anything that you want to do in this world. Guys, JV guys, I appreciate you so much. This next bit, just so I don't want you to feel like you're missing anything, this next bit is going to be specifically for playoffs and that opportunity. But I just want to say to JV guys here, again, whatever you want to do, and especially in lacrosse, I've seen it as a player, I've seen it as a coach. You can be an entirely different human being in 90 days. You can go from a freshman on JV to a sophomore starting being the man. You got 90 days. What do you want to do? Thank you, guys.